All right, I was looking for some good animations in the asset store. The Warrior Pack one I found wasn't that great. They used to have a uh, demo called Stealth, but it looks like Unity pulled it down from their store, which is too bad. It was a free demo that was really good. It was for an older version of Unity, but it really went through the animator in a very comprehensive way. I was looking for it in my old Unity folder, and I couldn't. Yeah, I didn't save it, unfortunately, so we'll have to just kind of move on without it. Yeah, the Warrior Pack, it was just missing a bunch of materials. In Unity, whenever you're missing a material on something, it comes up with kind of this magenta purple color. It's very obvious that something is off, and it's because there's a material missing. So this looks like this grid right here. The mesh render looks like it's trying to reference a missing material. So if we wanted to make it not purple anymore, we would have to drop a new material on there. Looks like there's a few different ones here for, a lot of times the materials are for specific things. If you want to create a blank material, we could come here and you can go create material. And then over here, we can edit the material. So what package are we using for this? This was the Warrior Pack bundle. It's free from the asset store. I don't know if we want to use this, though. I was hoping to find a better example before the class. This just didn't have a very good, it's missing too many things. But yeah, if we create this red material here, and we did this in a previous course, I'm just kind of going over again, make sure you guys understand. In order to fix this mesh render, we would come in here and we would drop our new red material onto here, and it'll turn it red. Yeah, we could go through a few more camera tricks if we wanted to add fog. Fog is actually a good way of optimizing a game where you have a large open landscape. The fog looks good, and at the same time it optimizes the scene, because if it's not in view within the camera, it won't render it, and so you end up saving both memory and kind of adding this fog effect, which is useful. Let's go ahead and hit play. Nah, I don't. I mean, let's open up our day 7. Our day 7 project, or day 6 project, had at least assets and things that we can use. I posted it on the Slack. If you don't have it, you can just go here, and yeah, this is posted at the end of class. You can download the Unity package and import it into your environment, and you should be here where we've got our capsule player with the third-person camera, first-person / third-person camera, and it's even got a controller on it. It's got our GUI, if you recall. Let's go ahead and make the floor bigger, 10 times bigger, so we don't fall off. And then at the same time, we can add fog. Actually, where was the fog? It's an environment, if I recall, components. Oh shoot, they moved it on me. I apologize. There used to be a scene property. Can always rely on the Unity documentation. Looks like they moved it to post-processing. Post-processing was a feature that they added in Unity 2018, I think, 2018 or 2019, where yeah, it's more optimized than the previous way that they did rendering. It's also more customizable. Window rendering light settings. Window, I was close. Rendering, I was even there. And then they moved it to light settings. And this is, yeah, this is environment. So this is where you can come in and add fog down here at the bottom. You can even set, how dark you want your fog to be, or if, say, you're on the moon and you want an orange fog, you could add orange fog. Most of the time, fog is either white or gray or dark, kind of like that color. And now, if we hit play, we'll come back over to our game, and you'll be able to see it kind of firsthand, what the fog looks like when you look at the horizon. I think we want to tilt our camera upright a little bit more. I'm going to drop my lighting window. Let's put it here with the inspector for now. Yeah, it helps if we have a better skybox. Let's just use a gradient maybe. Yeah, we won't really see the fog that well if we have that type of gradient though. Let's turn up the intensity multiplier and see if it works better that way. And our camera, let's tilt it up a little bit more so we can see the horizon better. Just kind of trying to give you guys an example of how to add fog to a scene. And this is where it's at, inside of window rendering. You can do other rendering tricks as well. If you want like a moonlight or a silhouette, you can do that in the environment settings as well. This is where you do light baking. Light baking is where Unity already knows where all of your lights are. And so it actually pre-renders them. That process, the process of generating the lights, takes a good amount of computation. But after it's been baked, is what they call it, then it looks a lot nicer, and it's there after it's been baked. you can kind of see the fog off in the distance. It doesn't. See how it adjusts it on the horizon there. Let's do. I want to make it thicker there. That's what it looks like uh, with the fog, and then if you turn the fog off, it yeah, you don't have that gray, and it probably works better if you have more objects in the horizon. So let's yeah, it becomes a lot more apparent. Let's make a big building. So if we create a cube right here, let's make our cube really big. That's the position. We'll move it far away so that it's off in the distance and make it really big. Oh, I thought it was further away. Let's go ahead and move this further away. And now it'll actually, we should get the effect of the fog a lot better if it's further away. Oh, where's our, I think I forgot to turn the fog back on. Let's go back over here. Oh, yep. And now, when we take a look at our building, it's affected by the fog. I thought it would be a little more intense, actually. You can't really see it so well. Could be because of the skybox. To lighting. I thought it would be a little more foggy. Anyhow, those are the fog settings that you can play around with. adds an interesting effect. I don't know why it wasn't thicker. I'm sure it's just a matter of a setting that wants to be turned on. That's the thing with Unity. Sometimes there's so many settings. You need to know which ones are the important ones. When we were doing the particle systems on, I think, day 2, yeah, there's really, you can customize it in a lot of different ways, but really kind of experimenting usually. Sometimes you'll find an effect that is just really interesting. It's something you kind of stumble upon. Yes, experimenting with some of the properties is probably one of the better ways to discover what Unity is capable of doing. Density. And I think part of the reason is because a lot of our meshes don't have any interesting materials on them. Everything is kind of the same color. And so the fog and the light hit it the same way. If we were to turn our floor texture into a different color, I think that might also help it stand out a little bit more. Let's again add a new material. Call it green and set it to this color, green. And then we can go ahead and drop it on our floor. If I'm moving too fast, let me know, but we've done some of this stuff before, so hopefully you're getting familiar with how to create materials and drop them onto game objects. Yeah, turn our floor green here. There's so much fog that you can't hardly even see the floor, actually. Let's turn down the fog. It's making it a little bit too intense. Yeah, there's so much fog that you were really only seeing the silhouette of the different objects. And I think one of the things that's misleading is because our skybox has this line. Let's do one more thing and change the skybox. So the skybox sits on the main camera. If we go to the inspector, skybox is really, it's what the background is. Let's do a solid color. Let's just do black. And this will make it very obvious where the fog is. So now when we come over here, you can still kind of see the building. And if we were to make the building a different color, that would help the shadow as well. So let's go ahead and make our fog pitch black so that we get the effect that I've been wanting to show you guys this whole time. Let's make our cube a different color. Let's make it bright red. And that way, when you come up on the building, it kind of comes in from the background and actually looks like fog. All right. If we come back to our game view or our scene view, you can see cube itself is still kind of gray. Now, if we come over here, I think our arrow keys work too. Trying to get our building back to red. The colors from the fogger making it not flip back though. I apologize, I'm not a lighting specialist. I'm usually on the programming side, but yeah, I didn't think we would run into quite so much trouble. Yeah, it's definitely, the fog is overpowering our environment. Although the intensity is not even that high. Oh, even just a tiny, tiny bit of fog. I mean, exponential squared, yeah, that's fast, but usually it has to do with distance and not immediately affecting. See how it gets redder as you get close to it? Oh, we bounced off of it pretty good. Yeah, that's how the fog works. It's a little trickier, but after you've used it enough, it becomes a lot more intuitive. We use it in our lunar surface scene. And once you set it, then you kind of set it and forget it type deal where, yeah, you're typically not changing your environment fog all that much. Changes, yeah, the lighting and in the scene. Let's go ahead and start a new scene. Yeah, we could start a new scene. Are there any things on our master list here that people that you guys don't understand, or any terminology or questions? We've gotten through a good amount of material, and I just want to make sure that I'm covering everything that you guys wanted to learn in the course, right? We're on our 7th day. We've got a few more classes left, and I just want to make sure that you're getting out of the course what you wanted. Yeah, if you understand all of these terms and you know how they work, then yeah, I would say you're probably at the intermediate level of Unity already anyhow. You know, the fog, that's just an environment property that you can use to spice up a scene and do some optimization. But, you know, do you guys want me to give you another programming example to kind of practice with, like a quiz?
Yeah, so I'm thinking, just like you had that Warriors package, is it possible to get a package from the game store, from the asset store, and see if we can edit it to do something in a scene kind of thing, like in a park or something?
Yep.
Okay.
Let's see here. Environment package. And there's a nice little free button checkbox here. This one looks good. Yeah, it's got all of our and you can click on package contents and it shows you what's in it. They already have a demo scene in there. They've got all these building prefabs. These are the models themselves and the textures. Yeah, let's go ahead and get this. I found it by searching for environment package, or you can probably even search for simple city pack plane. The nice thing too is it's super small. They must have optimized. These probably aren't really high resolution textures, but for our purpose, yeah, this is good. We can go ahead and open up the assets in Unity. It will open it up in the package manager, or at least it's supposed to. There it goes, kind of taking a while. It did not do it automatically, so let's try it again. We really want to open it in Unity Editor. There it goes. You might have to do it twice. But yeah, let me know when you guys both have the simple city pack downloaded and imported into your environment.
Okay, so we clicked on Simple City Pack Plane.
Yep, on the website.
Yeah, on the left side. So we have the asset, but do you double click it? How do you?
Did you get the Unity package downloaded onto your desktop, or were you able to open it directly in Unity, hopefully?
Yeah, we opened it directly in Unity, but it's not at the...
Did it not show up here like this?
Right, we got to that point, clicked on it,
And
and
then
then
you hit
something
download?
after that.
Download button down here?
Oh, I don't see the download button. Oh, I see it on the right. Here it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it. Thanks.
And then after it's downloaded, you hit import, and then it will show you all of the contents one more time before you actually import all the files, because there are 110 files.
Okay,
And
got it.
then, yeah, after you've got that, then it should put everything into this simple city plane folder where you have all of your materials here. You have all of the different textures. Where are all their textures? Here they are. Instead of material mesh, you've got our bench texture. You can kind of look at them here in the inspector. It's like they got some kind of Coke machine. And yeah, if we want to open up their model city, we can just go to the scenes scene. It looks like there is a demo scene here. And yeah, let's go ahead and double click on one of these, and yeah, it looks like a nice kind of simple city. And you can see everything over here in the hierarchy. They've got a directional light. You know, if you turn off the directional light, ooh, it looks like they might have multiple lights even. We've got camera. Let's see here. We're just going to close down our lighting tab for now. We're not going to do any. We did some fog stuff in the beginning, and now, yeah, the most important thing, of course, is the camera. Usually put that at the top of your scene just so you're not searching for it, because you can take any of these game objects and move them anywhere in the scene that you want. Excuse me. And when Unity's rendering, it actually starts from the top and starts going down. Same with script order. The script order, the top level, I guess, is if you come into the preferences and you, no, I'm sorry, not preferences, project settings. You can change the script order here. This has highest order priority, and then second highest order priority is the order in which they're actually in your scene. And remember that awake fires before start in all cases. So yeah, it'll go through your entire hierarchy and do all of the awakes first, and then all of the starts, and then all of the on enables. Because if you recall, there's another model behavior function called on enable that gets called whenever a game object gets turned on. If you want to see what these individual prefabs are referring to, you can double click and it'll go to it in the scene. There's that light pill. If you want to zoom in on the Coca-Cola machine, you can double click on the Coca-Cola machine. Remember, Alt is the magic key to orbit around something. We've got one Coke machine there. You can also, you know, if you want to highlight the other Coke machine in the hierarchy, you can click on it. Looks like they put their other Coke machine down there. They're not next to each other in the hierarchy, but it's pretty easy to find. Wow, they really have a lot of prefabs in here. If we wanted to clean this up, say we wanted to have all of our trees in a single game object, because I don't like, see how long this is? They don't have anything really sorted that well. Sometimes it's better to make root level game objects, not underneath our camera, but yeah, root level game object here called trees. And then we can actually move all of our trees and make them children of our tree game object here. And now it's much easier to kind of navigate. Let's do the same thing again, creating a new game object.
Similar to making a folder, is that what you're doing?
Yeah, it's kind of like making a folder.
Yes.
Okay. Yep. It just, yeah, they have so many game objects in here. It takes forever to find anything. And this is why, yeah, it's kind of important to put things into, yeah, stone slab. I'm interested to even see what that is. Let's go ahead and make a stone floor root level. Looks like they're just little pieces. Each one kind of has its own little piece of floor, and there's not too much to it. This prefab is actually just an empty transform, and then the mesh render is one of the children of the stone piece. It's got a mesh render, it's got a collider as well. That's really all there is to it. So let's, yeah, you can do control or shift and highlight multiple game objects at once. If you do control again, you can unselect. Let's move all of our stone slab prefabs into here. And now it's complaining because maybe because I have this open. Children of a prefab instance cannot be deleted or moved. Are these part of a prefab? Didn't think they were. I'm not sure what I had selected, but I had this expanded. I think it was angry with me because I had one of the prefabs expanded, but yeah, you should be able to select them all and drop them in just to kind of sort these things. Yeah, I think it was really because I had expanded one of these and it didn't like the expansion. Let's try it one more time. Yeah, it doesn't like it if it's expanded. That's kind of fussy, but yeah, just make sure that your prefabs are not are collapsed. Otherwise, it won't allow you to move them into the parent. Ooh, now it's even really complaining. Oh, just go. There we go. If you push left, it'll go up to the parent, and if you push right, then it will expand. A few more hotkeys for you to kind of put into your book of fast navigation. There's more street pieces. Go ahead and create an empty game object here and call it street. We want to have it so at least we can kind of see the entire scene in a single without having to scroll down. There's our street. Let's create another one for lamppost. No, we're not creating a folder. We're creating empty game objects. Lamps. I don't think there's so many Coke machines. We'll let the Coke machines kind of sit. We already had a prefab, I think, for our trees up here, didn't we? Yeah. Move our trees up here. Just kind of cleaning up our scene. Usually it doesn't get so crazy to this point unless you let it slip. Yeah, got our trees in here now. Looks like there's a grass. This is good practice, right? This is getting us familiar with the editor and the hierarchy and creating new game objects and reparenting. This is good practice. And we're almost there anyhow. Sidewalk. F2 is the quick hotkey for rename. Call it sideway. It's a sidewalk. All right, we nearly have everything fitting on a single. If you want to see what it is, you can just come over here to your inspector and shut it off. It looks like that is also part of the street. And now, yeah, it's a lot more manageable, right? We can see everything in the scene without having to scroll down in our hierarchy. And it's a little more useful too if you want to get rid of all of the lamps at once. You can take the parent, turn it off, and very quickly remove your lamps. Looks like this lamp right here is missing from our lamps. This one's, yep, got away on us. Let's go put that one on our lamps. Looks like building also. Let's go ahead and create one more for our buildings just because that one, that parent will have the most impact if we turn it off. Here are the buildings, building, and yeah. And we'll throw the gas station in there and the shop as well. So now if we were to turn off our building parent, a lot of our stuff is going to go away. Yeah, if we want to get rid of our street now, we can uncheck our street. And the cool part is, so now, yeah, I'll really show you guys the power of prefab. So now that we've got this street parent game object, we can take this street, and if we drag it from the hierarchy over to our project, we create a street prefab, and now we can take this street prefab, drop it back over here onto our hierarchy, or yeah, it looks like you could drop it in the scene too, but drop it in the hierarchy, and now we've got two huge streets, and we very quickly were able to create a new street where that would have taken a very, very long time if we would have used these individual pieces here. So does everyone understand that? That's kind of, you know, the true power of Unity and Unity prefabs is that once you've done something, you know, you can replicate it very quickly and easily. So let's make this a 2-lane city, right? Looks, or 4-lane, yeah. I've got mine underneath. We want to put it adjacent. So let's, you know, use our either our transform handles. Otherwise, you can use the move tool here. W is the hotkey, and that way you can actually use the handles here as well. Yeah, you can either kind of eyeball it, or if you want to make sure that it's exact, you can come over here and look at the positions on the transform. It looks like our X position is off by a little bit. So let's copy this and paste it in here. I didn't want the X one. I wanted the Y position. Let's go ahead and move that back over here. Which one was off? Our Y was off. This one's 69.6. This one wants to be 69.6. And now should be about even. Is our Z off? 75 and 75? Looks right. Yeah, did everyone manage to get a 2-lane or 4-lane street, whatever? I guess this would be a 4-lane street. Does that make sense? Good, good. Let's go ahead and duplicate all of this stuff on the other side of the street as well. One way of doing that is making a prefab. Otherwise, if I highlight everything here, and we don't want another street, so now we've got everything highlighted except for our camera. We don't want a duplicate camera, but we've got all of this stuff highlighted. If we push Control D, it will duplicate it. And now we can move all this stuff, and we have basically a duplicate city here. See how I did that? And let's try rotating it around. No, it didn't like the rotation quite so much. The problem is, yeah, if we wanted to rotate all of this stuff so that it's not a complete mirror, we would want to highlight it all. Ooh, it looks like we accidentally, I think, duplicated the light as well. So we have a much brighter scene. Let's go ahead and get rid of that extra light. But we will take all of the other components that we just created, and let's make them a children of a new game object so that we can rotate that child so that our scene is not just a mirror, but kind of inverted. So we'll call it the other side of the street. We take all of those other components here. We make them children of the other side of the street. And now we can take our other side of the street and we can rotate it by 180 degrees. Oh, looks like didn't quite get the right things. When we duplicated it, it alphabetized it or something. Maybe we can Control Z. Let's Control Z, Control Z. Control Z works pretty well. It's undo, and Unity keeps kind of a stack of changes. And so if you ever mess something up and you want to go back, just hit Control Z, and it will go back in time to the point where, yeah, we even got rid of our other side of the street. So Control Y is redo. So let's go back to this point here. I wanted to be able to flip around the opposite side of the street here. And if we just want to test, we can kind of wiggle it. Yeah, that looks about right. So yeah, let's go ahead and create a new game object. We'll try this one more time. Other side. Up to here. Minus the directional light. Oh, we don't want to have other side. Maybe that's what I had. I had other side selected last time. Maybe we want all of these things to become children of other side. And now let's give it one more try. Rotate. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. And now we can manipulate the transform too. And we've got kind of a inverted city. See how that works? That's how you can quickly design levels. We're too bright because we have two directional lights. When I did my Control D, I duplicated the light as well. Let's get rid of the extra light because we still have the one here. And then, yeah, everything looks an appropriate color now. If we wanted to change it, it's got kind of this beige, is that beige tint? If we want to make it not so beige, you can make our light more like that, and it will, yeah, the directional lights definitely can change the mood uh, of your scene. And notice how some of the materials get affected differently by the light. That has to do with the material itself. So some of these buildings, you're always looking at the mesh renderer because the mesh renderer's got the material, but not all materials are created the same. So if we go over to our Street 3, you can kind of come in depending on your metallic settings and your smoothness settings. And yeah, there's really a lot of different things you can do to material. That will affect how the light hits it. Some materials, I don't remember exactly which one it is, they don't even get affected by light. I think, yeah, if you do maybe transparent, no, not transparent. I'm not a graphics specialist, but yeah, there are material settings that completely ignore light. Um, there are materials that bounce light. If you've got your metallic turned up way high, then the light will actually bounce off and bounce onto other materials. There's really a lot of graphics techniques and things that you can do with materials. Um, yeah, that's a special area of game development, right? You can be a programmer, you can be a graphics person. The graphics people are the ones that deal with how materials are created and rendered in the scene typically. Height maps are used to kind of give texture and they call it a bump map sometimes to a particular model. It's a good way of um, kind of cheating and adding depth to a surface, even though the surface is flat. The height map kind of makes it look like it's not flat. It's pretty useful. So yeah, that's our example here of how to quickly use the asset package from a Unity store and really create a scene very quickly, right? This is kind of cool. We've got a whole city. If we wanted to make, a whole nother block, we could take our other side of the street object that we just made, and we could make that into a prefab too. So we could, yeah, take this and drag it over here into our project. We've got enough prefabs now that I would recommend making a prefab folder again. I try and keep my hierarchy and my project condensed and having enough parents and children so that you don't have to scroll up and down. Just being able to see everything and without scrolling makes your life easier. So now we can take our street and our other side of the street prefabs and drop them into our prefabs folder. Looks like they've got that we've got a couple of scripts, so we probably want to create a scripts folder. And I think I told you guys, the most common folder names. I'll go ahead and I'll make a list and add it to, oops, I ended up creating a script, not a scripts folder list so that you guys, if you end up creating large projects, this is probably the best way to kind of organize them, is to have a scripts folder. I don't recommend having a materials folder that has all of your materials in it. Then it becomes more difficult to find materials. I think that's what they did with this. Yeah, they put all of their materials, and they even kind of mixed their materials with their textures. Usually the best way of doing it is to have a folder with the name of your model, and then inside of that folder you have another folder called textures, another folder called materials, and another folder called animations if it has animations on it. And that way, when you're looking for something, you can come to the search bar, you can type in street, and it'll list, where the street is, and then you can see, where it's at in the hierarchy. Because when you do a search, it gets rid of kind of the folder structure. But then if you click the X, it will show you again everything and how to navigate to that particular material or asset, whatever it might be. These are materials. Yeah, we'll told you not to create a materials folder, but we'll create called models, and this would be where you put all your different models. We'll put our materials in the models folder for now. Yeah, these were assets that we used in the last class. Remember, we had a thump sound whenever you ran into a wall, and then we had the physics material that reduced the amount of bounce, so that our avatar didn't bounce off the edge of the screen whenever you ran into a wall. Now it just kind of spins. If you don't want the spinning, yeah, you can lock the rigid body. Yeah, it's just stuff we went over in the last class. So yeah, let's take our prefabs, let's add a few more city blocks here. Can drop our, could even, yeah, try dropping it right directly into the scene. Sometimes Unity thinks it knows what you want, but yeah, see, would have been more ideal if it put it on the same y-axis. But yeah, usually it'll try and snap it into place. Let's lower it a little bit. Still kind of, and this is where you can use our navigation buttons to kind of lock and look around and see. Yeah, it looks like it's about at the right spot. Let's move it this way. Let's rotate it in the Y by 90 degrees again. Can drop a couple of streets in here. I didn't put it in a very good spot. Let's try it one more time. Come on, Unity, get it. Nope. There, maybe that'll be all right. And then take our street and rotate it by 90. Now we have a pretty cool looking city. Yeah, does that make sense to everybody? Do you guys want to go to the asset store and look for more things to put into our scene?
Sure.
Yep.
Well, cars in there, buses, people.
I apologize, I can't hear you, Chris. The yeah, the closed captioning isn't working either.
Right. So sorry. So we were just trying to see if you had cars or buses, people in this piece, this set of prefab to put in, or do you have to get that from another part?
Yeah, it doesn't look like this particular package has people, but let's go ahead and go back over to our asset store. I'm sure we're going to be able to find people pretty quickly. People. Low poly. Let's go ahead and check our free assets. I'm sure we'll get a few. Toony Tiny People demo, or do we want Meebles, or do we want? Let's go with this, the Toony Tiny People demo, or do quick look and see what kind of. Oh yeah, this has got a bunch of people. And it's only 7 meg. So let's go ahead and get this one. We can add it to my assets and open it in Unity and download it. Adam, were you able to fix your issue? You said in the chat that you were having problems getting the things to position properly in the street. Yeah, there's really kind of 2 ways of doing that. You can either use the inspector and just line up the X and Y positions that way, or you can try using the handles in the scene view. There isn't really any other way of doing it. You could set the positions procedurally by programming and manipulating the transform in the code. That's another way of doing it. That's probably more time consuming, but if you wanted to procedurally generate a level, that would be the way of doing it. Actually, we could even try that. That might be an interesting way of taking this after we get some people in our level to procedurally generate the people. That sounds like a good example. So yeah, let me know when you guys have your Toony Tiny People imported. It looks like they don't have that many prefabs. They only have prefab for 2 guys, a girl, a zombie, and a police officer. Let's look at their sample. Maybe they fished us. Maybe the sample pack that's free only has 6 models, and then they want you to purchase more. It looks like, yeah, these are the 5, and then, yep, this is the mega pack. You only get all of these people if you buy the mega pack, and then they've got the URL down there in the corner. So unfortunately, we only get these people, but
Okay, that's good.
yeah, this is a starter pack. It's just an example. You know, this is how this company makes their money, right? They get you to buy in and get you to use their sample, and then yeah, it looks like they've got a zombie pack too, with this funny looking guy with his brain exposed. That's pretty good. Anyhow, yeah, we can come back. We've got 5 different prefabs to play with here. And so yeah, if we come back to our scene, our demo scene, and now yeah, if you take any of these prefabs, you can just drop them onto the street like that, just like that. And it looks like want to make sure that they have they have renders, and it doesn't actually look like they have colliders. You know, just because you can see something doesn't mean you can necessarily run into it. If you were to run into this person now, it does not look like she has a collider on her, and so you would walk right through her. And yeah, some of these things I'm not sure why they have object 033. It just looks like it's a blank transform. I'm not sure if they used it maybe as a pivot point or something. And this is her. Is it just her dress? It's kind of like her whole body. It seems like her body's one mesh or one rendering. Here's the material here. It uses legacy shader. And then this down here, these are just blank transforms. Wow. Yeah, I guess that's why her body disappeared when you unclicked it. Seems like at some point they had the body itself broken down into parts, but then they just decided to put all of the different renderings onto this same skinned mesh render rather than having the separate meshes on the different objects. So yeah, this is just the demo. Maybe they have these individual mesh renders on the mega pack, and that way you could customize your thighs and customize your arms and spine. But yeah, if you want to move this person, ooh, see how I'm moving the, I don't have her root, I don't have the top level parent selected. I had the spine selected, and so when I tried to move it, it actually ended up stretching her. That's kind of fun. Has it so you can actually make the person taller if you wanted. She's carrying a knife too. I didn't realize that. So yeah, she's ready to take on some zombies. If I wanted to maybe make the chest a little wider, give her some upper body strength, I think we could maybe manipulate the scale in the X position, make it wider. Seems like that is not how the skin mesh renderer works. For regular meshes, that would work, but the skinned mesh render doesn't allow us to just alter the scale, unfortunately. I think if we wanted to do that, there is a property, looks like we've got bounds here. We're trying to go in the X direction, maybe. Thought we'd be able to manipulate. Maybe we have to go up a little higher here in the hierarchy. There we go. Yeah. No. Yeah, if we like this particular configuration, we could again take the root level, drop it over here into our project, and we could create a prefab variant where we have huge zombie fighter female. And now if we wanted a few more of her in our scene, we could just drop them in as opposed to this guy, which doesn't look like he would do very much compared to her. Yeah, if we wanted to procedurally generate these people, let's go ahead and try and do that. We can create a new script over here. Inside of our scripts folder, we'll do a right click, we'll do create C# script. Everybody here. And we're going to call it people generator. We'll open it in Visual Studio. And now here's where we want to be able to drop our people prefabs. So we'll have a public public game object and call it male prefab public game object zombie prefab. Now if we save it, we come back over to our inspector. We need to put the people generator on something. We could create a new empty game object if we wanted to. Otherwise, let's go ahead and throw our people generator on the main camera. It's as good a place as any. It could go on, it could go on the sidewalk. It could go anywhere. But whatever game object that you do put it onto, if you reference yourself in the script, that's the game object that you're referencing. But in this case, we're not going to be doing anything in update. We're going to put all of our code into the start so that it does it once. If we wanted zombies to generate every 10 seconds, then we would put it into update. And you'd probably want to create a new game object for that and set the position of that transform of that game object to wherever you wanted your zombies to generate at. But for now, we'll just put it on main camera. And then we'll take our two prefabs here in the Toony Tiny People package, and we'll drop them in here so that our script has a reference to them. And now inside of start, say we want to generate 3 zombies. So we can do a for loop. So for int x is equal to 0, while x is less than 3, x plus plus. Hopefully everybody's familiar with loop syntax. If you don't, this is the declaration part where you can create a temporary variable. This is the conditional part where it's going to loop through it until it hits the condition, and then every time it iterates, it's going to perform that function. So yeah, this loop is going to execute 3 times, and what we want to do is we want to instantiate our zombie prefab. But this will instantiate our zombie prefab 3 times all at the same position. And so instantiate is an overloaded function. It has a number of different things. If you want to set the position, which is what we want to do, you can set the rotation and you can set the parent. So this is a pretty good one. Let's go ahead and use this last one, and it kind of tells you if you're using IntelliSense, what it is that you're working on. So if I put a comma here, it highlights, oh, you're about to do the position. So we want to put in a position, the X, Y, and Z. So you need to do new vector 3 because it's expecting a vector 3. And this is the X, Y, and Z position of where we want to put that zombie. So let's get an idea. We want to kind of put them in this area here. So if we click here, we click on one of our females, this is the position right here. So they are located at negative 324. Let's have the X position. I have to put an F so it knows that it's a floating point. This will basically spawn the zombie right on top of her. If we were to do this, what we want to do is we want to spawn the zombie probably kind of out in front of her a little bit, somewhere like here. So you can move around and test. Looks like we want to be somewhere around the negative 16 Z position. So let's change this to negative 16. instead. We're not quite done with our instantiate here. It's expecting a quaternion. That's the rotation. So again, we want to do new quaternion, and if we just leave it blank, it'll be no rotation at all. And if we want to have a parent, let's go ahead and create, let's not parent it for now. If we wanted to create like a blank zombie game object and then have all of our zombies spawn under that game object so that our hierarchy doesn't get full of too many zombies, that the zombies end up spawning inside of a zombie parent game object, we could do that. But for now, let's just do this. And this, if we save it now and we hit play, it should spawn 3 zombies right here in front of our person. Ooh. The problem is we're not seeing anything. If we go to our scene view, we can see our zombie right there. My guess is that there's 3 of them there. You can go to your hierarchy, and if we want to manipulate them, we can do that. But it looks like, yeah, all 3 of our zombies spawned here in the same position. If we wanted them to spawn in slightly different positions, we could come back to our script, and all we'd really have to do is let's turn it off real quick. Change the X position by a little bit. I'm pretty sure, yeah, the X position. So it's going to be this plus, let's see here, X, because every time it loops through, X is being incremented. And so now if we hit play, our scene view, we should be able to see all 3 zombies spawn in our scene. This is, yeah, our procedural way of doing it. Huh. I expected them to be next to each other and not standing on each other's shoulders. Oh, because I put X in the Y position. That's why. If I want X to be in the X position, I should probably put it in the right position, like that. Now they'll be standing in front of them, kind of like our standoff, basically. The game is not showing the right thing, and it's because our camera is not positioned correctly. If we came to the scene and we double-clicked on our camera, we'd realize that our camera is not in a very good position. It's not looking, our city's way, way over here, and our camera is right here. So it'd be better, we want to turn it off, because if we were to move the camera around in play mode, when we turn it off, it would reset back to where it's at now. Let's go ahead and take our camera. If you expand here, it gives us a little helper window, and move our camera so that we're over here in the city where the action is. Oh, we've got it here. We're getting closer. Sometimes it's just easier to position it like this. Seems like we're still off a little bit. Otherwise, maybe even a safer bet is rather than trying to finagle it into place by adjusting the handles, we could go and we could take this zombie, and we know that his position is right here. We could go copy. Where's copy position? Thought we had a copy position. Copy component. And then paste values, I guess. That's as good as it gets. Well, at least, yeah, copy the position and the scale and the rotation from our zombie into the main camera. So now at least our main camera is basically where it wants to be more or less. Let's go ahead and pull it up a little bit and then back it up, because right now it's right on top of the people. See how you can kind of see it in the preview. Let's pop it up a little bit more and tilt it downwards in the Z direct. Oh, not Z.
Excuse me.
In the X direction. Yep.
So I've been having Unity's throwing me a weird error.
Okay. Do you want to share your screen real quick and we'll take a look? All right. Man, your resolution is high. I can't quite see it. It says
a copying assembly from temp assembly C#.dil to library script assemblies C#.dil failed.
This seems like a Unity problem. I would recommend shutting down Unity and opening it up again. Sorry, sometimes Unity is just a little finicky. And yeah, go ahead and shut it down real quick and open it back up and see if that fixes the problem. If not, we can reassess. But I'm pretty sure when you imported the package, Unity got confused and yeah, I told you how it creates a library folder, and that library folder you do not want to include in your versioning control. It's kind of a temporary configuration files and stuff that the Unity editor uses, and it seems like there was some kind of issue that was created in your library, and all of those files are temporary. So now when you reopen Unity, hopefully it overrides the corrupted file that it was complaining about, and it should just work. Yeah, did you get your Unity environment open back up? Is that error message gone?
It's still loading.
All right, no, well, we can wait. I want to make sure that you can follow along. So, yeah, we'll wait.
Oh, it worked.
Very good. Yep. If all else fails, restart Unity. Especially, yeah, if it's not giving some kind of compiler issue, because most of the time, you'll have forgotten a comma or a semicolon, or if you're in run mode and playing the game, then it'll throw some kind of null reference error. If you're assuming, some kind of component is supposed to be there and the component's not there, then it's going to throw a null reference. A lot of times that happens. But yeah, are you caught up? I don't want to leave you behind. Are you relatively close to having something like this? Do you have your toony tiny people in there?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So yeah, we just all I did recently was reposition the camera so that yeah, we're looking kind of at the scene now, and now if we hit play, we'll be able to actually see all of the action kind of going down here where, yeah, we can see our zombies now when we hit play. If we wanted to animate those zombies, we could write a script file so that they run around in circles. There's an AI component where you can actually set the zombies to chase you. I was at a game jam a couple of years ago, and yeah, we had a zombie chasing game where yeah, you had to avoid zombies and make it through this maze. Yeah, we can do that next time. I think, yeah, the AI component is kind of interesting. I want to go over that on my own before. I need a refresher. Yeah, most of the stuff in Unity that I use every day, I'm comfortable with. But yeah, I don't want to fumble through the AI part like I kind of fumbled through the fog part the beginning of class today. So yeah, we'll go over the AI stuff next class. I want to do some of that on my own so that it's clear when we're going through the example, because we could probably make it through, but yeah, I want to know all of the different properties and components and make sure that I'm teaching you guys in a straightforward manner rather than playing around with the properties as we go along.
Yeah, that's
But yeah,
a great question for you. So
yep.
we lost the directional arrows.
It's because you have probably the hand selected. You have probably the move tool. You want to select the move tool, and then you'll get the handles.
Okay.
Likewise, if you've got the rotate tool, then this will show up. And these are kind of rotation handles. You can see how the camera looks kind of crazy like that.
Right.
You can always Control Z if you want to undo it. And then this is the sizing one. I feel more comfortable using the transform handles because you can drag these just as easily. It really is, I guess, a preference if you want to adjust them from the inspector or if you want to adjust them from the scene itself. Both end up having the same result.
There you go.
Okay, got it. Thank you. So
yep.
The XYZ plane very top right of your scene. It says perspective that's underneath it. Is that the camera bubble?
Is that camera
top
bubble?
Right. Top right, blue, green arm, red arm. Not part of the scene, but
yeah, these are the camera handles.
Okay. And
so whatever game object you have selected, say it's the zombies, that is what you're going to be adjusting. Does that make sense? So if I have this selected, the street, that is what the handle is going to affect.
What about this one in the top right corner, above the scene?
Oh, this one.
That one, the northeast.
This is for kind of adjusting what the scene is looking at. If you want to navigate and snap in a particular direction, it's more for just navigation of the scene. Or sorry, was that not question?
It does. I just can't get back on our scene. Somehow it. How do you get to it?
Do you want to share your screen real quick?
No, that would be too embarrassing.
Oh, okay.
Just curious. Should it stay in the scene the whole time, or it seems like we need it?
This thing should be in the scene. If it's not there, you probably are looking at the game view. Would be my guess.
Oh, right. No, we're looking at the scene view.
Okay, if you have the scene view, you should be able to see the navigation tool.
Okay. All right, we'll play around with it.
It should, it should be there.
Okay.
That would be surprising if it wasn't. And then you can always maneuver around with your mouse, and the Alt key is used to orbit.
Okay. Yeah. So we know we've got used to it, but it disappeared. But we'll find it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to leave you guys behind.
No worries.
So yeah, that's our scene there. We procedurally generated some zombies. Yeah, we've got a level here. Let's see here, what do we want to do with our last 20 minutes? Do we want to add colliders in here and have the zombies try and attack the people? Or Yeah, I'm trying to think of a fun example that would kind of test some of the things that we covered in class today. Let me think here. Do you guys want to add a first-person controller to the scene, and then we could have a gun, maybe, and so that we could shoot the zombies? Does that sound like a good practice?
Or I'm okay if they don't shoot each other. You know, the other
I'm sorry, it's not popping up on the closed captioning.
Oh, it's sure not. So I'm okay if they don't shoot each other. But I was just letting you know, we found the arrows. We had 2D clicked, and so it doesn't, the rest of the
Yeah,
arrows
that's
don't show up
that
as
would
2D.
probably be another thing that makes it go away. Yep, it
Yeah,
fades away.
fades away. So anyway, we got it. So then the other thing was, now is a micro game different from this that we've done just now? This is a 3D game. What is the difference in a micro game?
A micro game. I think micro games are a term used in the tutorials
Okay.
as just kind of like a mini game tutorial that the Unity uses to teach people. There's not really too much difference between a micro game and a regular game. There's a
Okay.
pretty big difference between a 2D game and a 3D game. And
Okay.
there's one other kind of advanced feature. I don't remember. I think I might have mentioned it in an earlier class, but Unity has these things called asset bundles. So if you select any number of assets, you can come over and um, you can tag it with a particular asset bundle. Asset bundles are used to make your game smaller. There's limits usually on apps where you're not allowed to upload an app that's more than 500 megabytes or whatever, or it'll warn your users that, hey, you're downloading something that is more than 500 megabytes. And so what you would want to do is put your larger assets into an asset bundle, and that way when they go to um, play the game, it only has the original uh, assets, the core assets, and then it will automatically download the asset bundles, kind of the extra assets. And in that regard, the asset bundles are kind of like a mini game, but they're a mini game that's part of your main game. And so, yeah, those are asset bundles. They're really only used if you've got a very large game and need to conserve space and optimize your build so that you get under the space threshold. Otherwise, I wouldn't use asset bundles because um, if they aren't loaded correctly and you've got an asset and it's not loaded correctly, it just won't show up in your scene. And yeah, that's not good. Um, Unity is currently working to make their asset bundling feature better because right now it's a little tricky to use, and yeah, unless you really absolutely have to use it, I would refrain from using the asset bundle at all. Yeah, unless completely necessary, or until Unity makes it better, because right now it's just not very good. So yeah, well, we're not gonna shoot any zombies. What's another feature? Should we make our people fly? Do we want to maybe have it so that we can fly in our scene or jump? We could even go to um, our scripts. We had showtime, and what did our other scripts have? Move player. I think. Yeah, our move player had just movement. We could add a jump so that whenever you jump, you start flying. Let's do that. Hopefully everyone's got this move player script. If you don't have the move player script, let me know and I can drop it on the Slack. But go ahead and attach your move player script to one of your characters in your scene, and make sure that that character gets a rigid body, because the move player script is dependent on a rigid body component. So yeah, go ahead and try that, and then I'll also set it up here on my end as well. But yeah, you should be able to drop your move player component onto one of these people and add a rigid body, and you should be able to manipulate that person, that game object, in the different directions, because everything should be wired up. That's one of the powers of Unity, is that, yeah, we had originally intended for this move player script for a cylinder, but now we've actually got these little avatars, our toony tiny people, and yeah, let's go ahead and put it on one of our characters. Oh, she's gonna want a collider too, or she'll go right through the street. The street at least has colliders, I think, if I remember correctly. Yep. Wow, mesh colliders. Not the best optimal choice, but it's all right. Whoa! How's everybody doing? Get the move player script added to one of your people. Yeah, I want to make sure that you guys realize once you've got the pieces there, it's pretty easy to put things together. We already have had our move player script. Then it's just a matter of adding components. Most of the things that I added were Unity components that are on our master list over here. We added a rigid body, we added a collider, and we added a audio source. Is it on here? Audio sound. Yeah. Audio source is a pretty important component though. Let's edit this and make sure that audio source gets put on here. You guys doing all right, Adam? You managed to get move player script onto one of your avatars and everything? If we wanted to have our camera follow around that particular avatar, see how when I play it, the camera sits stationary. But if we wanted our camera to follow that avatar around, all I have to do is take my main camera, make it a child of the game object. Actually, I parented the wrong one to this one. Then now whenever we move it, we actually move with the person. Woo. Capsule colliders, they spin. Yeah, are there any other questions? We'll go over some cool AI stuff on Thursday. We'll get our avatars, we'll get the zombies to chase us around. All right, if you guys don't have any questions, I think this is probably a pretty good stopping point. If there's anything specific that you guys want to cover in class next time, just message me on the Slack. I'll make sure that we cover it next time. I'll do some research on it if I for some reason don't know how to do whatever it is you want to do. Yeah, I don't remember exactly who really wanted to do the VR stuff in the beginning. We can certainly do some of the VR stuff, but yeah, I want to make sure that you guys have the right hardware so that we can even test it. That's kind of an important element when doing VR stuff. But yeah, we'll do AI stuff. We'll probably do some more examples, instantiating prefabs and things. Stuff that we've covered, but it's always good practice to make sure that it's set in and that, yeah, it's easy to use. You know, the first time you do something, it's not always easy, but after you've done it a second or third time, it really, yeah, it almost becomes like second nature to be dropping in new game objects and new components and reparenting and unparenting. We got a pretty good, yeah, I feel like we got a lot of good practice doing that with this asset bundle, or with this Unity package. Or if you're going through the asset store and you find a package you want to learn, let me know. You know, all of the default Unity packages are inside of the package manager right here. You know, yeah, there's quite a few of them. Yeah, if we want to do terrain generation, in my own experience, I found it's easier to find pre-existing prefabs to create levels and terrains, but there is a terrain generator that you can use to extrude surfaces and things. Yeah, we'll maybe revisit the canvas a little bit more next week as well, or on Thursday as well, just because the canvas is so important and so powerful. It's, you know, it's your menu system, but you can also use it to design websites or apps, you know, because Unity can export to both of the app stores. Yeah, Unity can be used to make regular apps if you want, even if, yeah, it's not a game at all. If you familiarize yourself with the Unity canvas, you can make pretty much anything. All right, well, thanks again. If you guys have any questions, just let me know.
Oh. So yeah, just a quick question. What equipment is needed for the VR stuff? We would love to see.
You would want a headset, so either an Oculus Rift or what are the other popular ones? There's a Windows one. VR headsets. I'm drawing a blank.
Do we need game controllers, or we're not at that VR yet?
As well, if you want to be able to manipulate the pointer on the screen, it helps to have these handheld devices. The Unity plugin makes it easy to implement these. They basically become your mouse, and so whatever you're pointing at, that becomes your mouse position. The Rift definitely has done more marketing. The Vive is what the HTC one is called. And I think I read earlier today that Hewlett Packard, yeah, just released a new one recently as well.
Okay. Well, looking at these prices, we might not have a headset either.
Yeah. No, these are on the expensive side. There's Windows VR. What were they called? There is a specific. No, these aren't it. There was one that was like really decent, and it was only, I think, like $180 or something. I mean, they're still kind of expensive. I remember buying my Nintendo for $50 back in the day, but I guess that's inflation as well.
Right. That was big money then. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they're still kind of expensive. And then when you get these other ones, the problem with the ones that are just the heads-up display is then you don't have the controllers, and usually the controllers are a pretty essential part of the VR experience. People want to look down and be able to see their hands, and if you can't do that, it's just not as good of an experience.
Okay.
Um, I'll search around. I thought there was a cheaper one that had the headsets. So yeah, that's on my list of things to do. Got to look up the AI stuff, and then, if we can't afford the headsets, then maybe we'll just forgo that for now.
Okay.
But Unity is good at making VR environments and things like that. The packages are good. There's even one for Microsoft's HoloLens. The HoloLens is really expensive, though. I think they just came out with a new version of that, and no, that's just the band. I don't even know if I didn't even know if you can get them anymore. They were thousands of dollars last I checked.
Oh, well, that's okay.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. I was doing some contract work for the Navy, and they wanted to do some stuff with this, but yeah, the introductory prices were outrageous. Basically, have to be a DoD contractor to get these things, but I'll come up with some good stuff for Thursday. Definitely some AI, and then we'll return and do some UI canvassing stuff again too. So
Okay.
all right, well, you guys have a good night, and I'll see you on Thursday.
Hey, thank you.
Bye now.